Hello, I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com and welcome to How WWE Should Book, where I take a current WWE angle or superstar and book them from now to the future, then challenge WWE to do it better, because I'm a smartass. Sure, there's a ding. Why not? So this time we're looking at how WWE should book a Seth Rollins babyface turn. Part 1. That's right, this feature has been requested so many times, we thought we'd start with a two-parter. You're welcome. So for almost a year and a half, Seth Rollins has been the whiny little heel that could. A blonde-streaked, insufferable brat hiding behind daddy and mummy, his two younger brothers, and his two giant uncles, one of which has a split personality and you know what, wrestling's dumb. He's retained his title via fluky wins, dusty finishes, and generally being more slippery than your mum. Now he's a fantastic wrestler and a good heel, but you know that he's gonna be a phenomenal babyface. First of all, he's got the independent scene cred that the Smarks love, and his natural acrobatic style just skews more organically towards the babyface style of things. So you know that no matter how good he is now, there's a brilliant babyface wrestler just ready to burst out from his chest and then grow from, to giant size and then stalk the crew of the Nostromo. That metaphor got away from me there. But the question is, how do we make the transition from Seth Rollins from a whiny, insufferable heel to a no-nonsense, top-of-the-line main event babyface? Well, here's what I would do. WWE, do it better. So, at the moment, Seth Rollins is sort of beholden to Triple H. He's basically Triple H's bitch. And Triple H is currently treating him like such on TV. Every time him and Stephanie make a decision, Seth Rollins complains and complains, and he looks really weak. So what we need to do is we need to separate him from Triple H so that they can have a match at WrestleMania. Now, this won't happen, okay, because the match that everyone is talking about on the rumor mill is Triple H versus The Rock. And to be honest, if you need to sell out 100,000 seats, I can understand why you'd book that match. But the thing is, I personally believe that good storytelling draws just as much as top names. So this is a better story. After all, Triple H was there at the beginning of Seth Rollins' heel run. He should be there at the end of it. And the narrative will culminate between the two at WrestleMania. So we start now. We're at Hell in a Cell and Seth Rollins is booked to face Demon Kane. So it's Hell in a Cell, Seth Rollins beats Kane, but barely, not clean. A well-placed shot with the title is what's needed, and then 1, 2, 3, Kane is put away, but Seth barely managed to get the job done. So next night on Raw, Corporate Kane is fired, and now he becomes Demon Kane for the rest of time, right up until the point that he retires. No more Corporate Kane, just let him be the monster. And Seth Rollins is on top of the world. He's talking about, I beat Demon Kane, now I'm the greatest champion ever, and he implies that he's a better champion than Triple H, and Triple H just looks at him like, boy said what? So then Triple H rounds on Seth Rollins, talks him down, and then brings out his next challenger for Survivor Series, Brock Lesnar. Because after all, Brock Lesnar is owed his rematch, and because of The Undertaker, who hopefully has been beaten clean at Hell in a Cell by now, cost him that shot. So it's time for Brock Lesnar to get his title shot properly. Survivor Series, Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins, no escape, no excuses. So Seth starts on his whiny thing. Triple H, what are you gonna do? What's the plan? How are we gonna get out of this? And Triple H says, you're such a good champion. You're a better champion than me. You figure it out. So Seth Rollins is on the horizon and he's basically got no one in his corner. Triple H has forbidden anyone from interfering on Seth Rollins' behalf. If Seth Rollins has any interference on his behalf, he will automatically lose the title. Triple H is basically making him prove himself. So Seth starts to train. Survivor Series comes around and Seth does his best. Okay, because that's what needs to start happening now. We need to start looking at Seth as a legitimate badass, someone who can stand on their own. They might not be able to get the job done now, but he's slowly and surely starting to rely on people less and less. Now, we've already seen this start to happen at Night of Champions. He wrestled 2 matches and looked like a monster for doing so, but we need to up the stakes a little bit. So at Survivor Series, Brock Lesnar takes him to his limit. Okay, he hits Seth Rollins with an F5. 1, 2, Seth Rollins kicks out. Okay, Seth Rollins starts mounting some comeback offense. He's starting to actually take Brock Lesnar to his limit. Brock Lesnar hits him with a second F5, and we're thinking, okay, this is the end. 1, 2, Seth Rollins kicks out. People were like, okay, wow, Seth Rollins might actually do this. What's happening? So Seth begins the comeback offense, but then Suplex City. Suplex City, Suplex City. And Seth is in a crumpled mess, but he very slowly climbs the ropes and stands there saying to Brock Lesnar, come on, come on. Brock Lesnar picks him up, third F5, 1, 2, 3. But Seth Rollins did better than anyone thought he could. Triple H comes out after Brock Lesnar has held up the title. Brock Lesnar takes the title, walks away. Triple H comes out and gets medical assistance for Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins says, I don't need anyone. Walks up the ramp by himself, looks at Triple H, and then walks past him, shoulder barging him. The seeds have started to be sown. So Seth is very slowly beginning a babyface rise because, he took his beating like a man. But the next night on Raw, he basically begs Triple H for a rematch. I want my rematch. And Triple H says, no, you have to prove yourself. That's the whole thing between Triple H and Seth. Seth has to prove himself. So basically he says, you can have a rematch with Brock Lesnar immediately as long as you run my gauntlet. And basically, this is just a night of punishment for Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has to fight 4 separate people, and they're all people that Seth has pissed off over the last year. It's Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Demon Kane, and Dean Ambrose. And basically, this is just Triple H's way of punishing Seth Rollins for daring to think he's better than him. So out comes Orton. Orton catches Seth Rollins with an RKO, 1, 2, 3, after a hellacious match. Then Seth very slowly gets to his feet. Out comes Roman Reigns. And Seth's like, oh, come on. So him and Roman Reigns have a damn fine match. Seth Rollins goes for another, say, 15 minutes. Then Roman Reigns hits him with the spear. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins is in a bad way, but he's climbing, like he did last night, climbing the ropes, getting to his feet. Boom! Out comes Demon Kane. Choke slam, tombstone, 1, 2, 3. And Seth Rollins is in a heap on the floor. Then out comes Dean Ambrose, his first and probably best nemesis. Out comes Dean Ambrose, and he looks down at him, and he's like, this isn't fun. Okay, this is not what I wanted, because Seth is just a pitiable mess at this point. Seth Rollins has lost everything. So Dean Ambrose helps him up, and sort of just looks at him. And then Seth slaps him, saying, don't you dare patronize me. Dean Ambrose says, okay, dirty deeds, 1, 2, 3, and Seth is dead. He has been justly punished. And next, because the title is back on Lesnar and he's not going to be at TLC, we organise a #1 contenders tournament for the title, with the final happening in a TLC match for the contract at TLC. And Seth Rollins is in the tournament along with lots of other people. Seth beats Demon Kane in the quarterfinal match. Then Seth beats Dean Ambrose in the semi-final via a fluky roll-up. And so he's going to TLC for a #1 contendership shot at Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. The person he's facing? Cesaro. Because why not? Let's build Cesaro a little bit. Because damn it, he's worth it. I love you. So at TLC, #1 contenders match, main event, Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. And again, they destroy each other. Now, it's Triple H and Steph, they're sat at ringside to see if Seth can do it, if Seth can prove himself. And at one point, Cesaro uppercuts Seth and he falls into the crowd, into Stephanie McMahon. And Triple H loses his mind. He just, in a fit of unbalanced rage, punches out Seth and throws him back in the ring because he accidentally laid hands on his wife. Cesaro then hits him with the neutralizer or something through some tables, a suplex through 2 tables. Why not? Let's have some fun. And then Cesaro climbs to the top, retrieves the contract. Cesaro versus Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. Tell me you don't want to see that. So next night on Raw, Seth Rollins confronts Triple H saying, what the hell? What the hell was that? You're supposed to have my back. And Triple H says, you wanna even this up? Go on then, hit me. Hit me, Seth. I dare you. You got the guts? Hit me, Seth. Hit me! Hit me! And Seth just stands there and he can't do it. And Triple H says, don't worry, kid. You're okay. Tell you what, I'll give you the big show to look after you. How about that, Seth? Maybe then you can get the job done. And Seth's like... And now we have qualifying matches for the Royal Rumble, because there should be qualifying matches for the Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins wins his qualifying match with the help of the Big Show. Seth Rollins is doing absolutely great. It's him versus Sin Cara, say, and the two are having a great match, and Seth Rollins is probably going to win, but then while the referee's back is turned, Big Show, boom, KO punches Sin Cara, and Seth Rollins is like, I had that, thank you very much. And Big Show is like, you're welcome. And Seth Rollins is like, I hate you. And Big Show's like, you're welcome. So then we get down to the Royal Rumble, and Seth Rollins, again to prove himself, has been given the number 1 spot by Triple H. And he's like, come on. So the Royal Rumble 2016 starts with Seth Rollins, number 1, and number 2, Roman Reigns. So these two are the Iron Men for this match, and they go the distance. About halfway through, out comes the Big Show, and the Big Show starts helping Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins gets really annoyed, slaps the Big Show, and eliminates him by himself. And everyone's like, Jesus. So the final 3 of the Royal Rumble, Seth Rollins on his last legs, Roman Reigns on his last legs, and Dean Ambrose. We have a very tiny Shield triple threat, just a sign of potential things to come, before finally Roman Reigns eliminates Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins by himself. Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins came that close. The 3 Shield members, they don't make peace because there's been some bad blood there, but you can tell that something's changed between them. You can tell that Seth Rollins fought like balls to get to the final 3. So they're like, okay, nod at each other, give Roman Reigns his props, and then walk to the back. The next night on Raw, Triple H brings out Seth Rollins and says, you know what? You can't get the job done. I've given you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, but you spit in my face, you eliminate the Big Show, you don't show me respect. Why shouldn't I fire you? And Seth just stands there. And Triple H is like, beg me. Beg me not to fire you, Seth. You'll notice that Triple H is actually being a heel here, because that's the thing, Triple H, you need to choose what you're being. Either you are a heel, which oppresses the baby faces on the roster, or you're the big crowd-popping babyface who comes out and says, hello, Boston! No, Triple H is being a heel. He's treating Seth like crap the whole time. So he says, beg me. Beg me, Seth. Beg me for your job. Get down on your knees, kiss my foot, and I'll let you keep your job. Seth refuses. Did you hear what I said? Said Triple H. Beg me. Seth Rollins says, no. Triple H says, what did you say? And Seth Rollins says, I said no. Slaps Triple H. Triple H low blows Seth, and then starts to beat him down. Beat him down, beat him down, beat him down, until finally he gets a steel chair, places it on top of Seth Rollins' head, grabs his sledgehammer, and then crack, right on top of the steel chair. He gets his microphone and says, Seth, you're fired. To be continued. So, how do you like it so far? Tell us about it in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Come back for part 2. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.